These are the beaches of Kerala and Tamil Nadu in southern India. If you look closely at the shoreline, you'll see dark, heavy streaks running through the sand. This is monazite. Within these grains lies the world's largest reserve of thorium. India sits on nearly 25% of the entire global supply. To understand the scale of this resource, consider the energy density. Just 62 kilograms of thorium can produce the same amount of electricity as 10,000 tons of coal, or half a ton of enriched uranium. But India faces a geological disadvantage. While it has the thorium, it possesses almost no natural uranium, the specific fuel required to start and sustain a reaction in every standard nuclear plant on Earth. To use its own sand for power, India had to attempt what no other nation had achieved at a commercial scale, engineering a machine that manufactures its own fuel while it runs. In 1974, India conducted its first underground nuclear test. The explosion changed the country's relationship with the rest of the world overnight. In immediate response, the United States, Canada, and their allies formed the Nuclear Suppliers Group. This international cartel was designed to isolate India, cutting off its access to the global nuclear market. The embargo targeted the most mundane levels of industrial production. Western nations blocked the shipment of routine commercial valves, standard water pumps, and even the basic diagnostic sensors found in typical manufacturing plants. While other countries grew their economies using a nuclear order managed by Western uranium exporters, India was effectively quarantined from the technology. This isolation left the country with two options: accept permanent energy shortages for its billion citizens, or build an entire nuclear infrastructure from the ground up, entirely on its own. Dr. Homi Bhabha, the architect of India's nuclear vision, anticipated this conflict as early as the 1950s. He designed a three-stage program specifically to bypass India's lack of uranium reserves. The challenge is rooted in physics. Uranium is fissile, meaning it can sustain a chain reaction on its own. Thorium is only fertile. It's like a car that requires a push start from another energy source before it can run. Stage 2 uses a fast breeder reactor to provide that push. When a neutron hits a thorium atom, the thorium absorbs it and undergoes a transformation, becoming a new fissile material called uranium-233. Bhabha never saw his plan reach this stage. In 1966, he died in a plane crash in the Alps, an event that remains the subject of intense speculation regarding foreign intelligence involvement. The architect was gone. Left in a diplomatic vacuum, a new generation of Indian scientists had to navigate the lethal complexities of neutron flux and liquid sodium without a single international consultant. To breed fuel, these reactors cannot use water as a coolant. Instead, they must use liquid sodium, a substance that allows neutrons to maintain the high speeds necessary for the transformation. Liquid sodium is notoriously difficult to manage. It burns instantly upon contact with air and reacts explosively if it touches even a trace of moisture. The world's most advanced technological powers tried to master this and failed. The US, France, and Japan invested $50 billion in breeder technology, only to abandon their programs after massive sodium leaks and fires, like the ones that crippled the Manju plant in Japan. Under the weight of the embargo, India couldn't quit. Domestic engineers spent 22 years designing their own sodium-proof welds and valves, learning through decades of trial and error what the rest of the world had given up on. In April 2026, the Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor at Kalpakkam finally achieved criticality, establishing a self-sustaining nuclear reaction. By reaching this milestone, India proved it could operate a commercial-scale machine that generates more fuel than it consumes. The uranium-233 now being bred at Kalpakkam will serve as the fuel source for the third and final stage of Bhabha's plan. In Stage 3, reactors will be fed raw thorium from the coast. The breeder reactors provide the initial spark, and the thorium creates a continuous loop of clean, domestic energy. This technology unlocks a massive prize, up to 700 years of absolute energy independence for 1.5 billion people. Today, the global nuclear order is uranium-centric, with fuel supplies controlled by a small group of Western-aligned nations. By mastering the thorium cycle, India has created a technical exit from this system, establishing a completely independent energy architecture. The 1974 sanctions were meant to halt India's nuclear progress, by severing its ties to global technology. Instead, that isolation forced the country to master the entire fuel cycle internally, turning its own beaches into a permanent source of power.